Alright everyone, how's it going? So, you can tell, here in Florida. So we just moved here yesterday, down from Tennessee. It's going to be quite a change. I've lived in Tennessee for 23 years now, since 2001, middle school. And I've been there ever since. So this video I want to talk about my FPV journey, let's call it that. Because the reason why we moved down here to Florida is because I got a job. My first job in the drone industry. So I will be a pilot/technician for a company called Percepto. More about that later. But I just want to kind of talk about how I got here. So pretty much 8 years ago, I got into FPV because I wanted to, well, first I wanted to find a Phantom. I wanted to buy a Phantom first for outdoor photography of rock climbers and things like that, because that's like my other hobby. Absolutely love rock climbing, been doing that for a long time. But I wanted a Phantom to kind of take those outdoor photos and videos. So I was going through YouTube, kind of getting some recommendations, and I came across Sharpoo's video. And I was hooked immediately. That's how I got into FPV, was through Sharpoo's video, and I wanted to do that. So ever since then, bought my first little drone off Amazon, soldered a little FPV camera to it, and used Velcro to stick it to the top, and bought some real crappy box goggles, and that was my first little experiment into FPV. But soon after that, so those box goggles got me some Fat Sharks and a little Sharpoo knockoff frame with some horrible Emax motors, I think. Don't remember what the whole setup was, but that's where it started. Freestyle was my thing for the longest time. Done a lot of local guys. You know them all. Tack, Risky Biscuit. Just a lot of guys. Sorry, a little tired right now from paddleboarding, but mine's a little shot, and driving yesterday for 12 hours. But yeah, so I did freestyle for a few years. Absolutely loved it, and then got a bit into the racing side. So Knoxville, about an hour and a half north of me, is a pretty good racing scene. So I went up there with my first little. I think I've raced with a freestyle drone the first time for like some little global qualifier, regional qualifiers way back then. Of course, it did absolutely horrible, but it was a lot of fun, so I got hooked. But that's kind of where it went. Years and years of just flying, crashing, building, experimenting, meeting people. The first I/O was my big drone event. Absolutely loved it. That was still the best event, in my opinion, in all of FPV. Because back then it was the first one with Rotor Riot, so it was a lot of half freestyle, half racing. It was the best of both worlds. So you had the whole Rotor Riot crew there. That's how I met Steele, Tommy, Stinger, Drew, everyone there. And some of the racing too. So Banny UK, Johnny FPV, Provo, Willard, Jordan Jet, all those guys, Nub and Noob. But that's where I really got hooked into the FPV community, because that was really the first time I was around a bunch of people who had the same passion that I did. So that's where that all started, and I've been going to I/O ever since. These past 2 years, I've missed the past 2 years, unfortunately. But before that, I had gone 5 straight I/Os and absolutely loved it. Still my favorite event of the year, just 5 days of flying. But been to Rampage, absolutely love Rampage as well. A lot of fun there. And just a lot of other big racing meetups, and then just local freestyle stuff. Going down to Atlanta, flying with Steel. And but yeah, so 3 years ago, I decided I wanted to get my Part 107 because I wanted to do something in drones. A couple of years into it, I was like, okay, this is, if there's any possibility I can get a job in drones, whether it's flying, building, designing, I want to do something with it. So I decided to get my Part 107 so I could do things on the commercial side of things, filming. So I did a lot of local action sports, so motocross, monster trucks, just some little races, some drift cars here and there. But so I got the Part 107 so I could fly and get paid to do it. So let's see, I'm trying to find my timeline here. So ditched nursing school, did that for a while, and just dropped out with a few semesters left because I wanted to get a job in tech and somehow as well. So I ended up getting an engineering management degree at my local university, Didn't really do much with that, unfortunately. It's just hard to find a job in management. We just don't have a lot of experience besides just the internship and things like that. So thankfully, Axel Risky Biscuit, he took me in under his wing in some videography. So did that for about a year and a half. Utilized the Part 107, flying drones whenever we could, one wheel, things like that. And that was an absolute blessing, being under his wing, learning more about videography, video editing. That's one reason my editing stopped, because I was editing for him a lot, and that just kind of burned me out on editing video, so I didn't really do that a lot. But after that, I found another job in tech, kind of as a logic board technician, so for industrial machinery. So I got work on a lot of circuit boards, power supplies, amplifiers, things like that, just taking components out, testing them, swapping out caps, relays, resistors, all that stuff, and did that for a year and a half. And then another little bit, I wanted to find something else, just wanted to do something different. So I tried to join the military. So Space Force was the way I went. Did MEPS, did that screening process, applied for top secret clearance, for doing all those forms that I needed to do. So went to MEPS, did my medical thing, took the ASVAB, absolutely aced that, was really proud of that. Studied a lot for that because I hadn't been to school in a while. But absolutely did well across everything. I almost failed my hearing test because of my tinnitus, but thankfully I still passed. But unfortunately, because of my history of cancer and my LASIK, they needed to do like a medical waiver. They needed to send all my medical reports up to the Surgeon General to review that and to see if I would still qualify medically. And unfortunately, I got the bad news a few weeks later that I could not be a part of the military because my eyesight was so poor prior to my LASIK, which is unfortunate, but hindsight, it's a blessing. So after I got that bad news, I applied to about 30 drone tech jobs, pilot jobs around the country, and I only heard from two. One from Charlotte with Lucid Robotics. I had an unfortunate history with them a few years ago. Long story short, a guy local in Chattanooga wanted to do a business utilizing their drone, which is pretty much a drone with a hose attached to it, and it would spray the side of buildings and spray chemicals that would clean buildings. So you see that black mildew on there, it would get rid of that, things like that. Unfortunately, this guy had no idea what he was doing, and he wanted me to try out, come out, fly that drone. And unfortunately, that stupid thing, fail-safe, those things were not built well back then. And fail-safe in the woods, and it was a disaster. So immediately jumped ship there. I was like, nope, don't want to do that. So that was a few years ago. I had experience with that, but I went back to interview just to see what would happen, because you never know, shoot your shot. And they denied me, unfortunately, but also there was this job here down in West Palm Beach called Percepto Drones. And their whole thing is they use drones for surveying industrial sites, power plants, things like that, and they use a lot of AI for their clients in order to schedule how the drone flies, and it does autonomous things. You can fly it manually. They are just big quadcopters, but I'll put links to the website as well if you guys want to take a look at that. But interviewed with them, had a couple interviews over the phone, over Zoom, and those went really well. I was really pleased in everything, how that went. And then they flew me down here to West Palm Beach, paid for hotel and for the technical interview. So that was cool. I'd never done anything like that, so I had to come in, kind of go through a checklist of tools of what was there, what wasn't there, what was missing, kind of just to test my knowledge on just basic everyday tools that you can use as a drone pilot. So that was, of course, cake, you know, building and flying FPV. I know drones are no tools. I have a lot of tools in my bag. Sorry, I keep looking at everyone snorkeling out here, so kind of distracting. I'm about to do that as well after I'm done here. But yeah, so they use ArduPilot, which I have no experience doing that. So did that. Aced that technical interview. It was a lot of fun. Had to fly a Mavic line of sight just to prove I knew how to fly. So I was like, okay, cool. That was a piece of cake. And had one more interview with HR. And thankfully I got the call last Friday that, hey, we want you to come down and in a week to start come be a U.S. deployment technician is the official job. So I will be installing, fixing, repairing, diagnosing if anything, if those drones are wrong, broken, things like that, going out to those client sites. I'll be traveling around Florida and making sure all those are working correctly. So yeah, I start tomorrow. I'm excited, nervous because it's a new job, it's a new place. Haven't been out of Tennessee for a while as far as living. But yeah, so I'm here right now by myself. Danielle and Heath are going to come down a couple weeks later with Danielle's mom helping them drive down. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got here. This is kind of a dream job, working on drones, flying them, and I finally made it. It took a while. I wasn't sure if I was able to make it happen, but just goes to show if you keep trying, things will happen. So I'm very fortunate, very blessed, I feel. We'll see how it goes. I can still screw something up, but absolutely am so grateful. But yeah, I don't know really what else to say. Let's go have some fun in the water. Alright, let's try this out. Water is absolutely clear. Yeah, we're out here, I'm out here, sorry, at Peanut Island, just off the coast of, or in between West Palm Beach and Palm Beach. So Palm Beach is right out yonder, that long lines over there. So that's where all the rich people live, billionaires, Trump, everything like that. So woo, let's get the sucker on. All right, so I'm gonna walk out here first. This is a place you can come snorkel. And it feels really weird talking, and I also always hate how the upper lip looks whenever you have a mask on. It looks absolutely stupid, and of course I can't talk because my nose is plugged. But the water feels absolutely amazing. Not cold, just the perfect temperature. So hopefully we can find something while we're out here along these rocks right here. So let's see. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I just swung around this one little rock right here. I didn't want to do too much, wear myself out. I got to paddle back all the way on the other side of the island to get back to my car. So it's gonna be a little bit of a long paddle. Not sure if I want to paddle right now, depending on the current, because the wind is pushing me right now. I'd be fighting the wind, so we'll see. I can walk my paddleboard a good ways around the island and then paddle that way, so I might do that. Not really sure, but we'll see. I'm just so tired. Let's go try that. Yeah, I ain't standing up for this right now. First, I'm way out of shape, and it's a little choppy right now, so I'm gonna get knocked right off. So we're just gonna stay here on the good old knees here. Here comes some waves. Splash, splash. But I guess the trick is to not get hit by any boats. Thankfully, it's like a no-wake zone, so I just gotta head straight that way towards the nice little building over there. But this way is a little bit easier. Coming in, the current was absolutely horrible. I think the tide was messing with me a bit and some wind, so it was a real struggle getting out of here. But yeah, can't complain. Absolutely like Peanut Island. Good water, good fish. But a lot of traffic on the weekend, so just gotta stay safe. But yeah, this is my first day in Florida. I don't know when I can call myself a Floridian. I probably won't for at least another decade. But I've been in Tennessee for way too long. So yeah, go Tennessee. Go Dogs, but no Vols. Vols suck. Yeah, I guess the goals with this company is to stay there for a good long while. They're doing some great things with innovations and stuff, with AI, and I'm super excited about that. Some really cool things coming from them. But yeah, I'm so stoked. You know, a little nervous because it's a new job, new place. I've been dealing with drones for 8 years, so not going to be really anything too crazy. Just I got to learn their software, of course their hardware, find out how everything's built. But yeah, training starts tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Excited for that. Whew. Oh yeah, it's a lot easier getting in here than getting out. Those yachts, holy crap, those things are ginormous. But see how close we can get to them without getting in trouble. There's these two buoys up here. I just need to make sure I stay on the left side of, but other than that, I'm tempted now to try standing up. I'll probably fall over, getting cocky, but let's get cocky. If I fall, I fall. Not too bad. Also, these are inflatable, so they're not as sturdy as a completely full, dense foam one, like my parents have. Whoop, 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 whoop. Saved it. Saved it. The wake from that boat that just got past, so yeah, current pushing me a little left, so keep paddling on the left side here. Yeah, that wind and that current is really shoving me out to the left. Sorry guys for the shaky camera here. See if we can make it. Shallow area. Can't see the bottom. But whew, this current's pushing me to the left. Let's go. A little more gas here. Oh, my shins are gonna be sore. There we go. We made it past the tough stuff. Smooth sailing now. Go right-handed now. Whew. Further down the shore here. Oh, got it.